Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. So this might be a little late, but as you'll probably see in some upcoming videos, I kind of explain that I've been super busy, have lots of things going on at work, lots of uni assessments to be doing, which I'm meant to be doing. Like I've literally got one that I'm meant to be doing right now, but do need to film this. So today I'm going to be doing my March and April reading wrap up, just because I don't believe that I read enough within 1 month to have its own video. So I'm going to clump them into 2 months. So I will link my January and February reading wrap up down below so you can watch that one as well. So a few of these books I will say I did have to read for uni, so that's just kind of why some random books are in here, but as I do study English, reading books for that is kind of implied and expected. So the first book that I had to read, which was for uni, is The Selected Poems of T.S. Eliot. He is a modernist author from 1915 something maybe. It's like, as you can see, just a whole bunch of poems. If I go to the beginning, you can see all my markings that I had to do for uni work. I did write an assessment on this one. I did give this one 2 stars because just not my vibe. Did have to read it for uni. Like, if you're really into exploring different areas of writing, I would recommend this one because it's definitely an interesting way of writing. I just personally am not a fan, although I did get a pretty decent assessment out of it. The next book I read is Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. Again, modernist novel that I had to read for uni. This one I gave a 1 star because it was just really weird. Like, it was written well, obviously, like it's pretty, not a popular book, but it is a modernist book that we did have to study. It was just written, it was written well, but the story was weird. Like, it was this guy who woke up as like a giant cockroach or something like that. You definitely see the modernist themes within the book, and a lot of people in my class did write an assessment on this one, so it's definitely very useful for the assessment, but again, had to read it for uni, not my vibe, hence the 1 star. Now the rest of the books are the ones I kind of actually enjoyed, and so the next book I read was Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. I did listen to this one on Audible, so I don't have a physical copy of this book at all yet. I will be buying it because I do love it. I do need the first one as well. I gave this one a 4 stars. I really enjoy Lucy Score's writing. I liked the first one. I love the Knock 'Em Out series. The found family within this book is just pure gold. I love it. And seeing the first couple from the first book was amazing. I don't really remember names. Like, I love them, trust me, I do love them. But I think, is it Knox? Knox? Was this one? Was this one Knox or was the first one Knox? Again, I read this last month on Audible. I read the first one last year sometime, I believe. So it's been a while, but I did give this one a 4 stars. I do remember that on top of the romance, just like in the first one, there is kind of this like mystery plot kind of going on as well, and that definitely made it super interesting. Any book that kind of has like found family in it, I love. The next book I completed was Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. I did start this one a couple days after it got released back in February. I finished this one in March, so all of these ones I finished in March, if I didn't mention that before. Honestly, I gave it a 4 stars, but it's probably more of a 3.75 star now that I've kind of had a while to like think about it. Honestly, for the conclusion of a trilogy, especially a Cassandra Clare book, it was a little disappointing. It kind of felt, plot was kind of rushed. It feels like it was a bit rushed to be released on time, which I definitely would have been okay waiting longer to have a more thought out plot of the book. And it also ended very kind of like happy ever after, which is very weird for a Cassandra Clare book. So that was definitely not what I was expecting, to have my heart torn out of my chest. Like, as it's the sequel series technically to the Infernal Devices, and if you've read that series, you know how heartbreaking it is. So the wrap up of this book was definitely unexpected and a little underwhelming. Like, I still love this series, I still love Cassandra Clare. I was a little disappointed with this book, in all honesty, so hence why it's like the 3.75 stars. Now the next book I read is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I gave this one a 4 stars. You can kind of see a little bit of tabbing that I did when I was physically reading this book. I also kind of mainly read this book on my Kindle, which definitely made it a lot easier because she is kind of a bigger book than what I'm used to, really. Now I won't say too much on this book as it is featured in a video that I will hopefully have out sometime soon. But basically I gave this one a 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I did find it that it kind of repeated a little bit with the sequence of events, so I did know what I was going into, and I did enjoy it. I did like the drama. The drama was great. We do love a bit of drama, but it was kind of a little bit repetitive in the he would hurt her, she would hurt him, he would hurt her, she would hurt him, they'd get angry at each other, and so that just kind of repeated. I want to read the full series, and hopefully the next book in Magnolia Parks anyway isn't as repetitive. But yes, so this one is a 4 stars, and you will see more of my thoughts in an upcoming video. Now the next 2 books I do have, but I did listen to them on audiobook, and that is The Inheritance Games and The Hawthorne Legacy. I've been wanting to read this series for the longest time, and why is it that way? I'm really glad I was able to get into it. Everyone said it was such a good mystery, like YA mystery, which I did like. I love the games and puzzles within it. So I'm very glad that I actually finally started this. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while. I did listen to these books just because I usually listen to a book in my car on the way to work, or if I'm doing some housework. It just makes it a bit easier to read books with the amount of like uni work and other work that I have to do. But I did really like these. I gave both of these books a 4 stars each. There is kind of like, there's kind of a love triangle in it. Like, if you read, you know what I mean by kind of, which was good. And you don't really get any conclusion to that love triangle at the end of the second book. You do have to, I believe, wait for the 3rd book. But yeah, they were really good books, really enjoyed it. If you're after some just kind of like light YA book, and you're not just wanting a romance, I would recommend picking this series up. It is really easy to read, really easy to get into. Now, the last book I read for April and for this video is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It's The Great Gatsby. If you haven't heard of it, have you been living under a rock? There is a movie that stars Leonardo DiCaprio. I did rate this book a 3 stars. I did enjoy it. It was a lot more entertaining than the other books I've had to read for uni. I've got some tabs in it. This is the current book I'm writing my assessment on, which I really need to get back to. This follows the narrator Nick as he gets thrown into kind of the drama of higher class society, and he lives next door to this guy Gatsby. Gatsby has a lot of drama with him, so honestly I don't know much more to say on it. It's a pretty well-known story. I had to read it for uni. It was really good. If you don't want to read it, just watch the movie. The movie's a little more glamorous. But yeah, so those are the 8 books that I read and completed in March and April. But yeah, that is today's video. Hope you liked it. Please comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.